All right, welcome back to the podcast, everyone. Today, we're diving deep into a topic that's incredibly important, yet often brushed aside: mental health and the struggles that come with it. You know, it's like that song, "Cut my life into pieces, this is my last resort." It really captures that feeling of being at the end of your rope, right?
Yeah, that's pretty intense. Like, I can't even imagine feeling that way. What do you think drives someone to that point?
Great question. It often starts with a buildup of stressors like losing a loved one, for instance. I remember when I lost my grandmother, it felt like a part of me was just gone. It's like being in a storm where you can't see the way out. You know, when you're in that chaos, it's hard to breathe, let alone think clearly.
Right. So it's like when you're in that storm, everything feels overwhelming. But what about people who seem fine on the outside? Like, how do you know if someone is struggling?
Exactly. That's the tricky part. People often wear masks, right? They might be smiling, but inside, they're battling demons. I once met someone who seemed so put together, but they were fighting a silent battle with depression. It's like an iceberg. You only see the tip, but there's so much more beneath the surface.
Wow, that's a powerful analogy. So, what can we do to help those people? Like, if someone is struggling, how do we even approach that conversation?
That's crucial. It's all about creating a safe space. You know, I once had a friend who was going through a tough time, and I just sat with them. No judgment, just listening. Sometimes, it's not about fixing the problem, but just being there. It's like holding a flashlight in a dark room. It helps them see a little clearer.
I love that. So, it's about being present. But what if someone doesn't want to talk? Like, how do you break through that wall?
That's a tough one. Sometimes it takes time. You can start with small gestures like sending a text or inviting them for coffee. I remember a time when I just dropped off their favorite snack at their door. It's like saying, "Hey, I see you and I care."
Oh, that's so sweet. It's like a little lifeline, right? But what if they push you away? Like, how do you handle rejection in that situation?
That's a real concern. It can be disheartening, but you have to remember that it's not about you. Sometimes, people need space to process their feelings. Just keep the door open, you know? It's like planting seeds. You may not see them grow right away, but with time and care, they might bloom.
That's a beautiful way to put it. So, what about the people who feel like they're at their last resort? Like, how do we reach out to them without making it worse?
That's a delicate balance. It's important to approach with empathy and understanding. I once read about someone who wrote a letter to their friend who was struggling, expressing their love and support without pressure. It's like throwing a life buoy into the water. You're giving them something to hold on to without forcing them to swim.
Wow, that's really insightful. So, it's all about being gentle and patient, right? But like, what if someone is in immediate danger? How do you handle that?
In those cases, it's crucial to take action. You can't just stand by. I remember a situation where a friend was in crisis, and I called for help. It's like when you see someone drowning, you don't just watch you jump in.
Right. That's so important. So, what resources are out there for people who are struggling? Like, how can they find help?
There are so many resources available. Hotlines, therapy, support groups, it's like a toolbox. You just have to find the right tool for your situation. I always encourage people to reach out, whether it's a friend, a professional, or even online communities.
That's really helpful. So, what's the takeaway here? Like, how can we all be better allies for those who are struggling?
The key is to be open, compassionate, and willing to listen. It's about creating a culture where mental health is prioritized, just like physical health. Remember, it's okay to not be okay, and reaching out can be the first step toward healing.
Wow, that's so powerful. I feel like I've learned so much today. Thank you for sharing all of this.